32 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned in Jerusalem 8 years, and departed without being desired. Howbeit they buried him in the city of David, but not in the sepulchres of the kings. 2 Chronicles 21:20. At 32 years the inward Christ has ripened to full stature in your consciousness. He begins to reign not as some distant king, but as your very imagination awakened to its divine office. For 8 years he dwells in you, guiding every thought, subduing each sense, until, by that measure of 8, the 8 Beatitudes, the eightfold way of spirit, your outer self no longer clamors for its old satisfactions. Then comes the departure without being desired. You let go of every craving, every vestige of self-will, and the world's applause no longer calls you back. They bury him in the city of David, that secret chamber of the heart where every promise is written in blood and dove song. There, in that inner Jerusalem, the old self is laid to rest, not in public sepulchres of fame and form, but in the living temple you alone inhabit. No pomp, no mourning procession, only the hush of realizing that all outer kingdoms have fallen away. The body of your old belief lies buried beneath your deliberate assumption, I am. Yet notice, they do not lay him in the sepulchres of the kings. The counterfeit crowns of wealth, power, worldly honor, these tombs cannot hold the Word made flesh within you. He never entered those silent vaults, for his resurrection is not a trophy parade, but your birthright fulfilled. In this secret interment lies the promise. What is buried in spirit must rise in glory. So read this verse as your own alchemy. At 32, your Christ consciousness awoke. For 8 years you nourished it with persistent assumption. You released desire. You buried the old in your own city of David. Now watch. In that sacred stillness, the risen I Am will break through every sepulchre of the senses and walk abroad once more as you. At first glance, the verse records a king's brief reign begun at 32, lasting 8 years, ending unremarked. Psychologically, these numbers map inner cycles of consciousness. 32 symbolizes a mature, fully formed imagination reaching its creative prime. The 8-year reign points to a new octave of awareness, an eightfold pattern of thought or feeling that ushers in a fresh reality. Departed without being desired describes the ego's quiet withdrawal when we no longer cling to the old self. Metaphysically, this passage depicts the stages of manifestation. Step 1, birth of a new idea in the imaginal realm, age 32. Step 2, 8-phase unfolding, where faith and feeling sustain that idea until it becomes tangible. Step 3, the ego, the king, dissolves because its purpose to serve your awakening has been fulfilled. Burial in the city of David means the completed creation returns to the heart's true center, not to the disused sepulchres of old identities. The divine power here is your awakened imagination. It alone conceives, nurtures, and completes any reality. 32 marks your fully awakened inner Christ principle. 8 marks the cycle of incarnation, fructification, and rebirth. When you use imagination with unwavering conviction, as if already done, the ego's reign ends naturally, and your desire is born in a higher place. Begin by turning your attention inward and discovering what you might call your 32, the vivid, ripe image you most wish to embody, whether that takes the form of abundant wealth, vibrant health, or dazzling creative success. As this image settles into your awareness, invite yourself to engage in an 8-day cycle of feeling it real. In the first 2 days, repeat affirmations that speak to your new reality until they resonate deeply. During the next 2 days, dwell on every detail with your imagination, the sights, the sounds, even the subtle textures that bring your vision to life. When you reach days 5 and 6, cultivate genuine gratitude as though your desired state is already fulfilled, and allow that sense of thankfulness to swell within you. Finally, in days 7 and 8, let go of all expectation and surrender the outcome, trusting that what you have firmly planted in your consciousness will blossom in its own perfect time. While you move through these steps, remember to release attachment to your former self, permitting it to depart without being desired. In doing so, You clear space for the new state, secretly buried in your own heart, the inner city of David, that no outward circumstance or past habit can touch. When you trace the brief reign of the king as a living mirror of your inner creative cycle, you reclaim the divine prerogative to birth any vision. In that sacred unfolding, you stand as both sovereign and servant of your higher purpose, fulfilling the timeless script that lies waiting in the soul of every human being.